Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's first of possibly two, I haven't decided yet, episodes of Bad Roommates. First up we have AITA for Being a Bad Roommate by CatPerson1030. I, 21 and female, and my three suite mates, 21 female, are all seniors in college. My roommates were all friends and roommates before this year, and we roomed together this year because their fourth roommate transferred, and mine all graduated. We live on campus in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I have a cat who is also my emotional support animal. Now, for my issue. The girl that I share a room with doesn't seem to like me. She makes passive-aggressive comments to me, and it seems like she has to contradict everything that I say. I have never seen her talk this way to my other roommates, so I'm wondering if I'm the asshole. For context, I struggle with depression and work a lot, so I am pretty antisocial some days. I have a hard time putting myself out there, and I admit that I don't always have time to do roommate bonding things with them. Here are some incidents with my roommate for context. Our apartment has one bathroom. A couple of weeks ago, she went to shower and came out into the living room where my other roommates and I were hanging out. She asked, "Who showered last?" I told her that it was me. She then asked if I could clear my hair out of the drain so that she could shower. I jokingly said, "Are you sure it's mine? We all have brown hair," so I was mostly kidding. She responded a bit rudely and said, "Well, I always clean mine out." Lies detected. I had no problem cleaning it out, but my issue with her request is that I have gone to shower numerous times and found hair in the drain. I have never cared. It has never been enough to prevent water flow. Because that happens when 4 girls share a shower. I think that this incident has stuck with me because it seems like she sometimes seeks out issues with me. I am by no means a perfect roommate, but I feel that we all have issues. People that hate the way I pronounce that word are going to be delighted today. And I have never heard her call out any of the other roommates. There was another time that I ran to Walmart and bought toilet paper for the apartment since we were out. We always Venmo request the other roommates for shared items, so I did. The weekend prior, I had traveled to a store we like and bought them candy that they wanted. I hadn't Venmo requested for this yet, so I added this to the total. After I did so, she messaged our roommate chat and said, $10 for toilet paper and candy? I think she was implying that it seemed like too much. If anything, I undercharged them. I bought a huge pack of TP, not generic, so it costs more than the cheapest pack might have. We have always bought name brand bulk packs of TP. Look into some of the non-name brand ones. They're a lot cheaper. You get good value for them. For example, the Lidl brand stuff. They're on pretty good. I prefer Andrex. Well, my cheeks do. But the Lidl brand stuff's pretty decent. I can provide more instances for context, but I guess I'm just wondering if I'm overthinking things. That people have talked about this in real life have said that she seems harsh. I can provide more instances for context, but I guess I'm just wondering if I'm overthinking things. The people I have talked to this about in real life have said that she seems harsh, but I figured I would ask Reddit for advice. I just feel like I have to walk on eggshells around her when I do say things. And it's really affecting my mental health. Am I the asshole? She just sounds like a bit of a prickly bitch. I mean, I'm sorry for the use of that word. I mean, some people don't like prickly, but I wouldn't worry about it. You just keep on keeping on. I mean, it's tempting to say to you, "Oh, you should check her when she's in the shower, right? When she's been in before you ask her to clean her hair out." But, she's the one that's got to live with herself, and it's not a forever situation. It doesn't sound intolerable. One thing I will suggest, just to keep yourself right from now on, when you purchase items, make sure you get a paper receipt, or if you happen to be purchasing through an app for a store you're in. You know, lots of stores have like loyalty apps now. Everyone's trying to get you to use their card in their app. Just do like a screen grab of the digital receipt and send that along with the Venmo requests, just to keep yourself right. Although I've got to say, $10 for TP and candy? Not bad, actually. Because you have the candy, then you can use the TP afterwards too. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next story. My boyfriend is a mess. Oh wait, no. My roommate's boyfriend is a mess. Or am I wrong? I almost caused a fight there, sorry about that. By Maleficent Award 4674. Hi everyone, I, female, live in a shared apartment with one of my close friends, also female, and another friend, male. At first everything was fine. Everyone did their own thing, we all got along, the household ran smoothly. Then my roommate and I both got into relationships around the same time. In the beginning it was normal. Our boyfriends stayed over a lot. We stayed at their places, typical early relationship stuff. But after a while I found out that my roommate and her boyfriend take hard drugs together. Well, that took a turn. And sometimes even in our apartment. I confronted her and told her I wasn't okay with that happening in our home. Perfectly reasonable. After that, she started spending most of her time at his place instead. He lives 5 minutes away, has his own flat. That part was fine. But the boyfriend still comes over, and honestly, he's a mess. Yeah, he's a druggie. Dragging your friend down with him, but that's her own lookout. He stays for days at a time, has used our toothbrushes. Oh, hell no. Mine and my boyfriend's. I don't know what to say, so I just hid them in my room. He also eats our food, leaves his trash and dirty dishes in the sink instead of putting them in the dishwasher. And screams at night when he can't sleep, waking everyone up. This weekend everything escalated. He had been at our place for 3 days straight. This morning I discovered the toilet was completely clogged. I left to visit my sister and assumed they'd fix it during the day. When I came home 8 hours later, nothing had been done. They didn't need to use it at all in that time? I told them the toilet needed to be fixed because I wasn't the one who clogged it. They acted clueless and even said they had been peeing in the shower. Well, there we go then, since the toilet didn't work. I mean, the fuck? Just Google how to fix it or call someone. Y'all not have a plunger on hand? But here's my thing. I know it was him. This already happened once before when he stayed with us for several days while my roommate wasn't home. My other roommate, male, told me that the toilet was clogged back then specifically because of him. Devious butt cheeks. And now when I confronted him, he tried to blame it on maybe tampons. Funny how it's never happened before. No one in the apartment even has their period right now, so nice try. It doesn't say Buster there, but I kind of want to add nice try Buster. They eventually fixed the toilet. They tried it with a broomstick. I mean, come on, obviously didn't work. I told them how to do it now, it's slightly better. But then her boyfriend told me not to talk to him in such an aggressive tone. Oh, you want to hear aggressive? I said I was angry because the toilet was broken again. I couldn't use the bathroom all day. It wasn't my fault, and I had other things to do besides begging someone to fix something they broke. We got into a huge fight and he left. Win-win. I talked to my roommate afterwards, but honestly I don't know what to do. I don't want to say your boyfriend is awful, but I'm developing a serious problem with him. He uses our toothbrushes, eats my food, leaves his mess everywhere, screams at night, clogs the toilet, lies about it, and then gets mad at me for being upset. They threw the dirty broom into the shower. That made me even more mad. And now I'm here. Am I wrong for being this frustrated? What would you do in my situation? He can't come over anymore. No. There's certain rules, etiquette that any guest should observe. And that's not screaming at night, not touching things that don't belong to you, not touching people's toothbrushes. I mean, for crying out loud, toothbrushes aren't expensive. They really aren't. Pick them up from most drugstores, or wherever you call them where you live. No, he can't come over anymore. And quite frankly, I mean, it's up to your friend what she does with him, but if his apartment's 5 minutes away, go there. You and your non-drug using roommates need to get together and lay down the law here. You don't even need to be nice about it, because I think you've been nice about it until now. Oh, also, just to add, if you're a guest at someone's house, huge sign of character that if you cause damage, like plugging the toilet, be a fucking adult and say, look, I plugged up your toilet, I'm sorry about it, do you have a plunger? That's all you gotta do, or just say, hey, do you have a plunger? These sound like smart people. They could work out what's happening. He's gotta go. Story number 3. My roommate is a horrible cat owner, a bad neighbour, and a general midwit. By Ticky McTicky Tick. This will be part advice-seeking and part rant. To be clear, I've had way worse roommates. But I'm a self-sufficient adult now and don't want to deal with this first apartment after the dorms kind of stuff anymore. I, 26, male to female, moved into a 4-bed a few months ago with a couple of roommates, who for this post we'll call Celia, mid-20s, male to female, and Mary Grace Lynn, mid-20s, female. Various life circumstances led to us scrambling last minute to find a place with people we met online. That was doomed to failure from the start, but let's read on. And our 4th roommate dropped out the day before signing and 2 days before moving in. Fuck you, Jenny, a mid-20s bitch. Which is how the 3 of us ended up in an overhauled 4-bedroom in a trendy urban neighborhood. We're still trying to fill the empty bedroom so we can stop paying 133% rent. Jeebus. Which means showing prospective roommates our house in its messy, semi-furnished state. Celia and I are both queer urbanites who get along just fine and are generally functional, self-sufficient adults. We get up each morning, go to our jobs, come home, do our hobbies, make dinner. Hobbies, I remember those. Anyway. Do our chores, rinse and repeat. Mary Grace Lynn, however, is so normie-coded that it's weird, if that's possible. I'm talking Normie Iceberg Explained, Episode 8. Mary Grace Lynn Smith. Levels of norminess. Every part of the house she's furnished is covered in string lights, Harry Styles merchandise, and furniture that looks like it came out of a dorm room. And we always hear strange noises throughout the house from her phone calls with her normie-ass friends. She came with a lot of furniture and moving boxes that 3 months later are still in common areas and full of her stuff, and her mom regularly comes over to help her with chores. It's like living with a 19-year-old sorority girl. Good chance she's never moved beyond that mentality. What really irks us is that she has 2 cats, both registered emotional support animals. Because of course they fucking are. That she got from a shelter. They seem to be Abyssinian mixes, which is not a good breed for inexperienced casual pet owners, but she doesn't even know what breed they are. Don't get me wrong, the cats are cute and I pet them a lot, because they're good kitties and they deserve boobs. It's their owner we have a problem with. But they are so poorly behaved, and she does very few of the things responsible cat owners are supposed to do, like cat proofing, managing pet waste, consistent feeding, playing, keeping them indoors, buying needed supplies, etc. And training them. I mean, I know it's hard to train a cat, but there's some basics. I've ended up doing a lot of these things for her. I understand executive functioning issues. I have to manage unmedicated ADHD myself. Oh, I feel for you. The difference is that I know I shouldn't have pets. I don't have ADHD, and I know I shouldn't have pets. So I admire them from afar. I go, oh, from afar. When we first moved in, seemingly every night, the cats would get into the pantry cabinet and spill food everywhere, which I usually end up having to clean after a couple of days of her not cleaning it. I solved this by installing pantry locks. After that, they started getting into the trash. I sort of solved this by putting a kettlebell on the trash can. You can get trash cans that do have a little lock on top of them. They're not super expensive, so the next time you come to renew your bin or replace it, you might want to look into one of those. Anyway, kettlebell on the lid, but they still make a mess when she overfills the trash can or doesn't get all her trash all the way into the trash can before closing the lid or not putting the weight back on. Every other day I'm left cleaning up after a trash party since Mary Grace Lynn seems fine with living in a pigsty. Hang on, I just need to give myself a pat in the back for something I've not done. Okay, there we go. Feel very proud of myself. Their behavior is largely because they don't have a consistent feeding schedule. Every now and then, she dumps an unmeasured portion of dry food into a single bowl for both cats, and they absolutely attack it. I hear the commotion every time she feeds them, and it's less than daily. As a result, they jump on every opportunity to potentially get food. When I cook, they're constantly jumping on the counter, no matter how many times I put them off. Sometimes they successfully nab a bite of something. When I eat, I have to eat in my room or deal with cats jumping on the table, rushing for my food. When I open the fridge, the male cat occasionally butts in and digs into the first thing he finds. One time, I pulled him out of the fridge, and a bag of bagels came with him. Like one of those claw games. That was funny, not gonna lie. I'm thinking about buying an automatic pet feeder so they can have some consistency. Congratulations on your new cats, is all I can say. The litter box management is the worst part, as you might guess. A diet of Ritz crackers and goldfish leads to some messy and smelly cat waste. All she has for them is a small metal pan with a trash bag and cheap litter. These are large cats, so they often miss the litter box, which she doesn't clean quickly. She sometimes doesn't refill the litter when she changes the trash bag, so they pee in it, then track that pee all over the house, including the dining table and kitchen counters. The inconsistent litter situation also means they potty in various spots around the house, which she also doesn't clean. Recently, she locked one of the cats in the laundry room, bitch, which led to me getting a call from my landlord about other residents complaining about cat poop in that room again. Again, I'm thinking about buying a fancy, odor-trapping, low-maintenance litter box for them. She's also really irresponsible with their safety. Occasionally, the male cat gets out and she says, "I guess he's gone on an adventure. He'll be back." We live on a busy street. And that little orange dumbass is probably not street smart. Sometimes I'll get back from work to find the cat waiting on the back patio to be let in. Once he was gone too long, so she started freaking out, and she and her mom put missing cat flyers everywhere. They found the cat, but they did not take down those flyers, so I see them around my neighborhood all the time months later. It's a running joke with my girlfriend. Let's be on the lookout for Soka tonight. She's inconsistent about flushing. Ah, so it's not just cat shit she has a problem with, okay. She's a really inconsiderate neighbor. It's a dense neighborhood, and we live in a 3-flat. So there are 2 units above us and 3 units on either side of us. I am the sort of neighbor who sweeps the sidewalk in front of the house, and my neighbor's house is as a courtesy. So this really irks me. When the cat is out after dark, she'll open the back door and scream the cat's name at the top of her lungs even if it's midnight. She dumps the cat litter in the dumpster, but misses, leaving litter with poop around the sidewalk leading to where the neighbors park their cars. She'll sometimes just throw things from the back door onto the backyard and just not pick them up. I try to apologize for her to my neighbors when I see them. Oh, don't do that. No. You haven't done anything wrong, so you shouldn't have to be making apologies. To give you an idea of the level of intellect we're dealing with, I wasn't aware we were dealing with an intellect, but alright. Mary Grislin was fed up with the fire alarm downstairs beeping. She goes and gets it and brings it into the kitchen. I thought she was going to replace the battery, but she opens the back door and chucks it onto the lawn. I ask her, were you going to pick that up? She replied, "Oh, I was just so tired of that stupid thing beeping." I told her, I think we have those for a reason. I talked her into retrieving the alarm and changing the battery then, the next day. I find a 9-volt battery in the backyard. Well, I know a lost cause when I see one, and you're living with one. The only solution I can suggest here is you've clearly already gotten your head comfortable with the idea of taking care of these cats, so just sit her down and say, hey look, we know you love the cats, you like to play with them, that's fine. They're my cats now. I'm taking responsibility for them. I'm going to feed them, I'm going to train them, I'm going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. You can look at them and pet them. But when I leave, they go with me. That way at least you know the cats are being taken care of. It's not an ideal solution, but I think it'd be better for everyone, because you're not going to fix her. Story number 4 is my roommate is disgusting inside and out. The total package. By Formal Influence 222. I live in a New York City apartment with a roommate who is 20 plus years older than me. I am a full-time student, my parents cover my expenses, and she works from home. We had a cleaning schedule and everything started off fine. The issues started small, but wildly disrespectful. For starters, my aunt bought me a pastry I saved in the fridge to enjoy after class. My roommate knew it was mine, ate it anyway, and then texted me saying she hoped I didn't mind. I told her I did mind, and her excuse was, I couldn't help myself. She promised to replace it. It's been 2 years. Well, any day now. But honestly, that's not even the real problem. Because she's worked from home, she cooks breakfast every morning and leaves dirty pots, pans, dishes, trash in the sink, everything covering the stove, sink, and counters. The way the apartment is laid out, the kitchen is the first thing I see when I open my bedroom door. So every morning before class, I'm greeted with her mess. When I bring it up, she insists it's not a big deal. To her, yeah. And that I should work around the mess. At some point I gave up and stopped cooking at home entirely. But when I get home at night and politely ask if she can clean so I can make dinner, she hits me with, I just got off work. Can I get a minute? No, love, you work from home. You could have done it on your lunch break. She also caters on the side. Oh dear. Which means the kitchen sometimes turns into a full-blown warehouse, which is valid. No, it isn't. Until she's started putting entire pots full of food on the floor. And it's a tiny apartment. The only way past a pot on the floor is over it, or through it. If that's not a health code violation, I don't know what is. And just the icing on the cake, she called my mom. She has my mom's number only for emergencies, but she called to complain that I wasn't cleaning. Which is insane because you're a grown-ass adult. So I told her directly right then and there that I don't use the kitchen anymore besides quick stuff that doesn't require counter space, which I don't have anyway because she never cleans. Of course I clean up after myself, but it's not like you'd notice when the kitchen was disgusting to begin with. And then she had the audacity to say that my mother's upbringing is the issue. After that, she just stormed off. And she's still alive, really? Interesting. Because of all this, I started meal prepping at a friend or relative's place. But even then, the containers I bring home go missing. We have designated fridge spaces, yet my boxes get moved, disappear for a week, then reappear out of nowhere. Abracadabra. It's ridiculous. Then she started dating someone, the poor bastard, earlier this year, and suddenly this man is sleeping in our apartment every single night for about 8 months now. No, I don't think so. That's not going to keep happening. And he's slowly moving in. Our lease literally says no guests over 7 days without prior agreement. When I tried to address it, she stopped replying to any of my messages. She's completely ignoring me. It's been 8 months and she still hasn't replied to a single message in our chat, not even about the rent. You need to do it to her face. To make it worse, her boyfriend started eating my food too. I sense laxatives in his future. I brought it up loud enough for him to hear because my parents aren't funding them. She's a grown woman with a job. Why is her or her man taking food out of a college student's mouth? Her response, "It's not that serious." To which her boyfriend started acting passive-aggressive around me, like I'm the one who's not supposed to be there, complaining that I'm in the shower or bathroom when he wants to be there, etc., etc. Am I tripping? P.S. She recently went on vacation and left the kitchen in such a state that when I told her that's unacceptable, she said, "I have more important things to deal with." I've got receipts, screenshots, and pictures. Do I need to share them? Yes, but not with Reddit or me. You need to share it with your landlord. Mind you, this is a grown woman. I haven't even started on my issues with her personal hygiene. Just a little something. The stove and sink are right next to each other, and I'm cooking. And she would wash her hair in the sink unannounced right next to my food. I threw it out. There were shampoo suds in my food. Oof, no, this can't go on. I mean, I'm assuming you're stuck there and you can't just move out, because that obviously would be the ideal option here. So as that's not an option, you need to report this bitch to the landlord, because nothing else is going to get done. You can't be reasonable with them. As you say, you've got a mountain of evidence. This guy is apparently trying to move in, and even if he's not moving in, he's there way longer than he should be, in your own home. And they're making you essentially feel like a guest in your own home. I've seen this story so many times before. They're gradually trying to push you out. So get it dealt with. Get it dealt with now, firmly. Talk to the right people. And as I said, stop sending things through chat. Now, it's good to send things through chat because it does give you a document that something's been said. But if she's not responding about certain issues, you just need to talk to her face. And I realize it might be hard not to slap her in the face, but resist the urge because you don't want to be the bad guy here. But I think, yeah, straight to the landlord is the way to go there. Hopefully they have enough sense to deal with it. But it's a landlord in New York, and I haven't heard a lot of good things. I wish you luck with it, though. Okay. Final story. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate her autoimmune disease doesn't matter? It's one of those titles you think, well, yeah, obviously, but I have a feeling they might not be. So I've had a lot of problems with my roommates the whole 6 months I've lived there. I live in a house with 1 bathroom and 2 bedrooms and a small living room and a big kitchen. I have 1 room for me, and the other room, which is almost twice as big as mine, is shared by 2 people who are siblings. Also, they lived in the house before me, and I had just started uni, so I moved in with them, because of our mutual friend. The first few weeks were okay, even though the house was kept dirty and unorganized generally. I did not say much because I'm new. 2 weeks in and the dishes start piling and they never wash. I wash my dishes every time I cook or eat right away, and it's not like I expected them to do that, but they actually never cleaned or did the dishes. I would clean the stovetop, and then the very same day there would be a slimy mess from them making rice, and they just let it dry out, and it was so disgusting, and there was always food bits and grease, and I kept trying to wipe it up, but they made it dirty next day, so I stopped. I'll list the things they did throughout. 1 kept dishes in the sink for 1 whole week and didn't wash, even when I said I can't even use the pipe for water if your dishes are stacked up like this. 2 never cleaned the house, maybe once a month if I'm lucky. 3 never took out trash. There would be like 6 bags of trash and it would smell, get insects, and I'd be the one throwing theirs out mostly. 4 they didn't unclog the wash basin in the bathroom, and water literally wouldn't drain, but they kept using it like that. And there would be used water in the sink like that in the bathroom. And it would be so disgusting I literally opened a tube in the bottom and cleaned the whole thing, and then water started flowing like normal. But even after that, they would plug hair and clog it. 5 they shave and put hair on the sink and never wash it. 6 they use the bathtub to shower, and again, that was clogged too, and they just wouldn't wait for the water to drain, and the water would be stagnant if I didn't shower that day. It was literally the water they showered in, with foam and everything like 10 centimeters deep. Disgusting, because one time I stayed with friends and came back and the water was there for 2 days. 7 threw bloody underwear on the living room couch and did not take it off for a day. Her sister saw it and just passed by. Did not ask her sister to remove or even take it herself. 8 her egg box was on the chair and 1 egg fell. She's obviously got it clean now, right? 'Cause eggs, but nope. I come back in the evening and it's still there. She cleaned after I asked her to because it started smelling. 9 eats unrefrigerated and not properly stored food. We buy frozen chicken here, and one day she asked me to put it out to defrost, and I did. And guess what was in the exact place for 2 days, and she cooked it. Ooh, after that. 10 she made something with lentils and did not store it in a box in the fridge like a normal person, and it was kept out for 3 days, and it had flies over it. And then she ate it and said her stomach hurts. 11 boiled pasta and kept it in a vessel and didn't dump in the fridge or eat. And I was asking what smelled rotten, and I didn't know. I open that, I see the pasta, which had literally turned into liquid goop. 9 kept a bloody pad on the washing machine top for 2 days and didn't discard it until I mentioned. 13 brought their ex-roommate to stay for 15 days. 14 I told them that their ex-roommate's things should be cleaned out and I need space in the kitchen, but they never did anything. 15 never paid rent on time. Who's surprised? Anyone? No? No, okay. 16 wouldn't clean the kitchen, even after I told them the fact that I skipped my meals many days because there was no space for me to cook, and I didn't have all the time to clean before cooking. That's what I remember for now. So all this happened suddenly one day. The siblings fought, and one of them started sleeping on the couch, and the couch is basically right next to my door, and very away from theirs, and even if I cough, they could hear it because of thin walls. I felt very uncomfortable. I let it go for a few days thinking it's because of the fight, but nope, she started sleeping and living there full time. Since 3 people, we share rent, I pay half, and they pay half together. I really value my privacy, and I hate the feeling of someone up my door every single day. And on top, she was loud, and both of them were loud. She was constantly on the phone with someone, and was up till 3 a.m., and wouldn't let me sleep. Would be fighting when I had my exams in the middle of the night, like full-on blasting noise and yelling. I was really uncomfortable, and I said she should start sleeping in her room because I have no privacy and the sofa is literally in front of my room door, and that she was loud and I can't sleep, and she actually had the nerve to say no. I said it's not up to her and I was being nice until now, and she only pays 1/4 of the rent. And if she wants to be alone, she should pay more rent, or have gotten a bigger place, and she cannot pay so little and act like the living room is her own room. For context, she basically lived in that couch and never went to the room. She ate there, slept there, watched her phone there, talked to everyone there. I said it's literally unnecessary, and that they have the bigger room, and if they sit in separate corners, they can't even hear each other much, and she said no. And then I said I'd like to move out then. And she said she cannot afford rent, not your problem. And that she's poor, but she and I work at the same place and she can actually afford it. I said she can stay on the couch until 11 p.m. and should go to her room to sleep, and that was my ultimatum. That was working well last semester, but they were still not clean. I slowly started fixing things in a way that would not bother me. Then this semester I wanted my space because I'm not stupid to be this way. So I literally cleaned the whole kitchen with them. I did 70%, they helped at least. Then we three threw out 10 trash bags full of unwanted vessels and broken blenders, dirty stuff. We threw it out, and suddenly the kitchen had so much shelf space, and the floors did not have boxes of vessels, and guess what? My roommate moved the sofa to the kitchen. That was my last straw. I spent the whole day, like 6 hours, cleaning and making space so that the kitchen wouldn't look like a mess, and they have the nerve to do that. For context, there were 2 small tables in the kitchen, and they were putting all their vessels on them, and kept unwashed wooden cutting boards and everything. I've never used them because it was so dirty. I cleaned to change that, and she just moved the couch like she did all the work. I said she cannot do that, it's shared space. And then those sisters started saying that I have OCD. Oh, we're diagnosing. Okay, they have massive depression. They should get help for that and stop making it your problem. And that I put all these rules and they can't follow them, while the rules were to be considerate and throw out trash. I literally started thinking I had the problem, gaslighting, and had to go to therapy. And the therapist said it's not my fault. And only after that, I even spoke to them about all this. I said it's not fair, and they said I should move out then. I said I asked them last semester, and they said no, that I cannot do it as per their wish. They don't really get a say. And that I am the person who actually pays rent properly and keeps it clean, and that they don't get to say this to me after being bad roommates. And she legit said that she's a messy person, more like unhygienic and dirty, and that she wants a roommate who understands that, and I'm too clean? It sounds like you're just basically clean. I said I'm not too clean, and I'm being normal. I didn't even ask you to clean every 3 days, just once a week at least. And she said her old roommate never said anything, and I said maybe she was like you and that's not my problem. This is how it is now. She started saying if her parents were rich, she would have taken the whole house, and that she's poor. I said even rich people don't rent a whole house for their kids, and sharing is normal. Depends how rich. She said she can't clean because she's tired and has an autoimmune disease and has to sleep all the time. She was awake while having this conversation, right? So apparently not. I said maybe she should think about that when she spends 1 hour dressing up and doing her makeup every day before going out when she talks to guys until 3 a.m. That I cannot care about it if she won't act like she's sick, and that we all have hardships, but cannot make us unhygienic people to the point where it makes someone else's life harder. Am I the asshole? No, I mean, clearly not. She's just using that as an excuse. She might have an autoimmune disorder. If anything, that means she should be cleaning more. I used to be pretty lazy when it came to doing the dishes, but I've gotten in the habit, and I've stuck to it for the past few months, and my goodness, I'm so glad I did. Just wash things when you've used them. Then they're there to be used again, nice and clean. Quite frankly, you eat better and cook better when the kitchen's clean anyway. It's good for your state of mind when things are clean. it's all about small habits, build them up over time. Your roommates, and that one in particular, are just kinda lazy and you deserve better. So as long as you all agree that you should move out, and it sounds like it might be an option for you, go, run as fast as you can. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Big thanks to everyone who allowed me to use their stories. If you'd like to support this channel, you can sign up for my Patreon page, which is linked down in the description. It starts at $1, but you can support whatever you like per month, and you get early access to all the videos on Monday. There is also a link to my merchandise store if you want to buy mugs or t-shirts or anything like that. We also have some nice hoodies on there, zip-up ones and pullover ones. That's on Teespring, linked in the description. If you need to contact me, if you want a shout out, if you have business inquiries, or if you just want to send in a story for me to record, as long as it's your own, of course, you can do that to kingofthecities@gmail.com, which is also written out for you down in the description. I think that's everything for now. Let me think. Do I have a question of the day today? Okay, I'm going to keep this one simple. Those of you, our American friends, we know you have probably celebrated, I think it's the day I was recording this, Thanksgiving. What did you do? Or did you do anything? For some folks, it's a day to avoid family. For other folks, it's a day to get together and be thankful you don't have to deal with them the rest of the time, or something like that. I'm not sure the ins and outs. Let me know what you think in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and take very good care of yourselves. Bye bye.